Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, welcome to another exciting session of SP Talks from SPOAU. And today we'll be talking about the midstream sector. I'm very excited, Seth, to learn and to understand all these basic things in oil and gas industry. And briefly, we'll be introducing our guests. Her name is Olapade Rukayat. Okay, so we'll be continuing this series. Okay, okay.
Okay,
Rukayat,
thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And
you're welcome.
like you said, I'm Olapade Rukayat. I'm a Part 4 Chemical Engineering student in Obafemi Awolowo University. So today I'll be discussing one of the major sectors in the oil and gas industry, and which is the midstream sector. So before I go into that, I would like to give a brief explanation of the other sectors in the oil and gas industry so we can be to understand what I will be explaining or discussing with us today. So let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, please, can you see this?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
introduction to the oil and gas industry, the midstream sector. Like I said, I'll be talking about the three major sectors in the oil and gas industry. So the first one, we have three major sectors. We have the upstream sector, the midstream sector, and the downstream sector. So the upstream sector, well, this sector is primarily involved with exploration. That's more like the oil discovery. They are the ones involved in the search for the natural gas and the crude oil. It could be underground or it could be underwater. And also they are involved in the extraction, the drilling process, trying to get the crude oil or the natural gas from whatever place they must have found it, and in the production of the crude oil and natural gas. So, well, this sector is just involved in exploring, extracting, and producing crude oil and natural gas. So in Nigeria, the upstream companies that we have they are the ones that are quite popular. The popular oil and gas industries that we know, the likes of Chevron, um, Shell, Total Energies, Adax, and all of that. So they just explore, they extract, and they produce crude oil and natural gas. So the midstream sector, though, this is the one we're discussing today. And this sector is concerned with the processing, storing, transporting, and marketing. Well, in a way, they are involved in the marketing. Like they're not really into the real marketing, but in a way, they are involved in the marketing of the oil, natural gas, and the natural gas liquid. So, well, the midstream company in Nigeria, they're just two. We have the O and the gas link. So these people are just involved with the processing, the storing and the transporting of the oil and gas, oil, natural gas, and the natural gas liquid. Please, can you hear me?
Yes,
Is my voice
yes.
okay? Thank you. So the last one, which is the downstream sector. Well, this is the last stage of the process, and it refers to the refining, processing, and the purifying of the crude oil and the natural gas. So this after the crude oil or the natural gas has been gotten from the upstream sector and transported by the midstream. What this sector just does is like after they get the crude oil, they refine it into useful products. Do you understand? They purify them, then refine the crude oil and natural gas into useful products. And this sector also encompasses any efforts that are made to market and distribute the crude oil and the natural gas related products. So examples of the companies, like that's why we have the refinery, we have the filling stations too. Those are the things you can find in downstream sector. So that's just it about that. And yeah, this is just a diagrammatic representation of what I just explained. And the upstream, which is the oil and gas, they involve the oil and gas exploration and production, either offshore, onshore. They also involved with the field development and production operations. And the midstream, we have the transport and storage, and then what we do, like I said, either through pipelines or through trucks. And the downstream, they're involved with the distribution, sales, marketing, and purifying and refining of the crude oil and natural gas, as I had explained. So, um, yeah, interestingly, there are some companies that undertake all streams that they'll be involved in the upstream process, the midstream and the downstream, and they are known as the integrated oil companies. But I don't know for sure if we have a company like this in Nigeria. So they're just they're involved in the three streams of process. So that's just it. So let's go into the main topic for today, which is the midstream sector. Before I explain anything about this, I'd like to give a simple illustration. And well, this is just like, okay, let's imagine we want to cook, and most of us use gas, right?
Yeah.
And the gas must have been refilled. I mean, your gas cylinder must have been refilled. Maybe you've got to refill from a filling station or whatever source of. So definitely, the gas didn't get produced there. It didn't get. Um, it wasn't discovered there. Because I've gone through some processes, some stages, right? It would have been produced somewhere, found somewhere, then transported to that point, or possibly refined, then got transported to a form, transported to the place where it could be used by we, the end users, in a form that is safe for us to use. So, what actually happened? So, after it must have been produced somewhere or discovered somewhere, it must have. Then the next thing would be like to transport it to the refinery where it will be purified and put into a form that can be used by the end users. So what connects the producer and the marketer? Well, the marketer here is like your filling station here. So what connects them? What connects the producer and the marketer is just the midstream sector. They are just involved in that. They serve as the intermediary between the production phase and the marketing phase. So that's just everything about the industry. Like the simple explanation about what the midstream sector actually does. So the midstream phase serves an important role in the oil and gas operation, and it helps transport the raw crude oil produced in oil fields, then transform it into usable product that can be ready in the like I said. So the midstream sector serves three main functions. One, field processing, transportation, and storage. Now, for the field processing, well, when oil is extracted from an oil field, it comes out as a mixture of oil, natural gas, and natural gas liquid. But this doesn't make any sense. It can't be used. So they need to like separate it, right? And what this unit does is just like they just separate the water from the oil, so and separate it from the oil from the natural gas and from the natural gas liquid. So this unit separates the water and the oil from the natural gas mixture, and the water can be recycled or pumped into a disposal well, while the oil, the gas, and the natural liquids flow to the respective storage units. So that's just what happens in the field processing. They try to separate them because, like I said, when oil gets extracted initially, it comes out as a mixture. So they need to be separated into the oil, natural gas, and natural gas liquid. Now, the next function, main function of the midstream sector is the storage. Is storage. So this plays an important role in maintaining imbalance in the supply and demand of oil and gas in the international market. So what do I mean by this? Now let's imagine a storage tank. It's a storage tank rather um, runs out of oil and gas, and let's just say they have it has a limited amount of oil and gas. So that definitely implies that there will be a limited supply, right, of the oil and gas in the market. So the petroleum industry, this makes the petroleum industry to have a minimal control over the price because the higher the supply, the higher the price, and the lower the supply, the lower the price. So the international markets might have a control, they will have a significant control over the price of the crude oil, of the oil and the natural gas. Likewise, the higher the demand, the higher the price, and the lower the demand, the lower the price. Do you understand? So just like our economics now.
Yeah.
So the higher the supply, definitely there'll be a decrease in the price, and the lower the supply, an increase in price. So the higher the demand, the higher the price, and the lower the demand, the lower the price. Just like economics. So yeah, crude oil is stored in a bulk terminal, while the natural gas is usually stored on the ground. So for transportation, this is a very, very, very important component of the midstream sector because the crude oil or the gas needs to be transported to other locations. Let's just imagine where the oil or the natural gas was produced or found is very, very far from the refinery. How does it get there? How do they take it to the next stage where it could be refined into useful products? So that is why transportation is a very, very important component. So the main form of transporting crude oil and gas include pipelines. Well, pipelines is safe and very efficient because of long distance and it's kind of limited to some extent because there are some places that don't have pipeline system installed in them, and this could hinder the transport of the crude oil or the natural gas to those areas. That's why we always resort to other forms of transportation. And some of the reasons too could be, political restrictions, and the government could have control. Okay, you can't build a pipeline system in this area and all of that. So truck is a very is well, it's carries the lowest volume of crude oil and natural gas. And the only advantage this has is just the flexibility. The flexibility in the sense that you can able to control the timing. You can control the timing and okay, I want this to be there at this point. Okay, from Lagos to this state, it takes this time to get there. Understand? So you can always control time and the destination. So places where they don't have pipeline system installed in them, you can always resort to the use of trucks and rails too. You can always, this is also quite cheap. And ships, well, you know that ships carries the highest volume of crude oil and natural gas, but this is usually not advisable for crude oil because of leakages, and it could affect the aquatic environment, and it could be very, very, hazardous. So, crude oil, gas, and natural gas liquids are transported from the production fields, the upstream, to an off-site temporary storage facility, the midstream, and then transported to a large storage hub for refining, the downstream. So, okay, are you following, Bolu?
Yes. Yes.
Hope I'm not
Yes.
too bad.
No. No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
the midstream value chain, well, this is just like a diagrammatic representation of all what I've just explained. It shows the function of the midstream sector. And I don't know if you can see this clearly. And
Yes, you can see it.
okay, thank you. The upstream, if you notice, you can see two arrows, one up and the other one down. And this is the one up is for the gas,
Okay.
for the gas. So the first one, which is the gas processing, this is the point where I told you water will be removed from the gas. And water vapor is one of the impurities found in the gas stream, and this could hinder some um, it could hinder the smooth transport. I don't know how to say, I don't know how to explain that, of the gas in the pipeline. So that's why water must be removed from it. And this is the point where you separate the natural gas and the natural gas liquids and all of that. So this is where the processing takes place before it goes to the fractionating stage. So at this stage, this is where the natural gas liquids are, how do I say, it? Are separated into base components that um, into-base components that can be used for the production of useful products. So the natural gas liquid it comprises of ethane, propane, butane, and pentane. So it's at this point they will be separated and then taken into the storage tanks and then possibly transported either through the pipelines, the ship, or through the lorries. So, and the other one is or truck rather. The other one, which is the crude oil. The crude oil is gathered first, then stored, and then transported through your pipelines and all of that to the downstream. And your downstream, that's where you have your refineries, where they will refine it to useful products that can be used in our homes, for fuels for our cars, and also in filling stations, services, and all of that. So that's just it about the midstream value chain. Okay. Okay. So yeah, the midstream assets. These are just the resources that are utilized for the processing, storage, and transformation and transportation of the oil, gas, and natural gas liquids. So these are the resources that are also needed for the smooth processing and storage and transportation of all of that. So they include the oil pipeline. The first one, which is the oil pipeline, this is needed for transporting the crude oil to the refineries for long distance. And it's not only oil; you can also transport uh, gases through pipelines. So this is also used for the oil pipelines is used for transporting the crude oil to the refineries, based on long distances and all. So that's like one of the aspects of the midstream sector. Yeah, okay. Now the second one, which is the fluid compressor. Okay, this compresses the gas. That is, it increases the pressure. Gas has to move with a very high pressure before it can, you know, move faster in the pipeline. So this compressor just it increases the pressure, thereby providing the energy to like move it through the pipeline. So this is just the work the fluid compressor does. And the pipelines that are used to transport gases must be must be able to endure high pressure, and also it should be able to must have a very large diameter. So, and those kind of pipelines are known as transmission lines. So that's just and the fluid compressor is just to compress the gas and increase the pressure, thereby providing the through the pipeline. So the next one, which is the gas storage facility. Yeah, I said it before. Natural gas is usually stored underground and in large storage reservoirs. And there are three main types of underground storage. We have the depleted gas reservoir, we have the aquifers, and we have the salt caverns. So, well, this three of them are all underground storage facilities. The first one, which is the depleted gas reservoir. Well, this one is an underground formation which is tapped off with recoverable natural gas, and this ultimately makes it how do I say it, a formation that can be able to hold the natural gas. So in this actually helps in the distribution and in the extraction of the natural gas from the point where it has been produced. You understand? So the second one, which is the aquifers, well, this is also an underground facility, like I said, and it is a porous and permeable rock formation. It's not like I say, I'm saying, okay, we are storing gas in the rock underground. So this is quite expensive because of the geographical characteristics of this formation. So it's usually not used because it is very, very expensive. So most times the depicted gas reservoir and salt caverns are mostly used. So the third one, which is the salt cavern. Now this is very, very good because it doesn't allow the escape of the injected gas. Once the salt cavern is formed, it doesn't allow the escape of the injected gas. So those are the three main types of the underground storage. Okay, and okay, this one, fractionating and dehydration tank. Well, in the fractionating tank, the NGLs, which is the natural gas liquids, are broken down into their base components to be usable. Like I said, I think I explained that in when I showed the midstream value chain. That's point where I was talking about the fractionation. So I said that the natural gas liquids are broken down into their base components, which are the ethane, propane, propane, and pentane. So when they are broken down into the base components, they can, be later be taken to the refineries for the formation or production of useful products. Like you think I'm used to produce this, you think I'm used to produce this, and you understand. So for the digestion unit, like I said before, water vapor is one of the impurities found in the natural gas stream. So it definitely has to be removed in the natural gas stream. So the unit that removes the water vapor, this unit actually, sorry, removes the water vapor from the natural gas in order for it to meet an outlet pipeline specification. Yes, um, when water vapor is removed, it prevents corrosion in the pipeline. While transporting it prevents corrosion in the pipeline, it prevents the formation of hydrates. It also, improves the overall pipeline, you know, how do I say it? It makes the pipeline, it increases the effectiveness of the pipeline, that kind of thing, the overall efficiency of the pipeline. So the water vapor has to be removed from the natural gas, like get your dry gas. So the last one, which is the LPG and the LNG storage plant. Okay, this is where the LPG, the liquefied petroleum gas, and the LNG, the liquefied natural gas, are stored. So I'm sure if you're wondering, okay, what's liquefied petroleum gas and what's liquefied natural gas? Well, petroleum gas is still a type of natural gas liquid, just that this has a higher vapor pressure because and it's a term actually used to describe just two of the natural gas liquids, which are the propane and the butane, or the combination of both. So it is a type of a natural gas liquid that has a very high vapor pressure and only focused on two of the natural gas liquids, which is just the propane and the butane. And the LNG, which is the liquefied natural gas, well, this is more like saying, okay, natural gas that has been condensed into the liquid form. That's just it. Like natural gas changed, or natural gas in changed to the liquid form. That's just LNG, and it is mostly composed of methane and maybe a little amount of ethane. So the LPG and the LNG storage plants, this is just the place where we keep the LPG, the liquefied petroleum gas, and the energy, liquefied natural gas. This is the point where they are stored. So, and yeah. Well, the summary. Initially, we gave a brief introduction to the three major sectors in the oil and gas industry, and I said we have three major sectors in the oil and gas industry: the upstream, the midstream, and the downstream. And I said the upstream is mainly focused on the exploration the extraction and production of oil and gas, while the midstream is involved in the storage, transporting, processing, and possibly in a way the marketing of the crude oil and the natural gas. And the last one, which is downstream, this is involved in the refining and marketing of the crude oil and okay, and natural gas. So we also talked about the main functions of the midstream sector. We talked about the three main functions, which are the food processing, the storage, the transportation. So I said in the food processing, all the companies come the oil when oil gets extracted comes as a mixture. Then each of the company gets separated, and I talked about the storage too, and also the transportation. So I showed you a diagrammatic representation of the main function, which is the same thing as the midstream value chain, and just showed how um, these three functions are actually carried out. At the last one, we talked about the midstream sector assets. I told you they are the resources utilized for the production, processing, transporting, storage, and marketing of the crude oil and the natural gas. And examples I said is the oil pipelines, the gas storage facilities, the LNG and LPG storage facilities, the which other one again? Um, okay, the fractionating and the dehydration tanks. So that's basically all the midstream sector assets. So, well, thank you. So that's all for
Ah,
my presentation.
okay. Thank you so much, Rukayat. I really enjoyed the show. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you.
I really enjoyed the introduction you gave. The fact that you explained everything from the upstream to the midstream, then to the downstream.
Yeah,
Then the fact that you explained the midstream chain, the chain, the
yeah.
assets that you said midstream is basically it comprises of food processing, transportation, and storage. Like so, it's just so I'll just get to those points. So just interesting. I was like, like you should just
Thank you.
continue. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. Then you moved on to the midstream assets, and
Yeah,
fact that you explained the oil pipelines, the fluid compressor where you were like the pipelines must be structured in a way that they can absorb pressure. And
yeah.
we are really grateful for having you today. Thank you
Thank you
so
very much.
much.
I'm very
Yeah.
my
Okay.
pleasure.
So yeah, there's a question here now, and it says, "How do you think Nigeria as a can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
He said, "How do you think Nigeria as a country can make more profits for the oil and gas industry? Or what do you think,
More what?
or what do we need to do?" Did you hear me?
I didn't get the question though.
Okay. He said, "How do you think Nigeria as a country can make more profits for the oil and gas industry? Or what do we need to improve?"
Okay. Okay. How do you think Nigeria as a country can make more profit? I believe from the oil and
Yes,
gas
yes,
industry.
yes, exactly.
Well, I guess. Um, okay. I think we just need to improve in our. Um, when I checked, while I was researching, I realized that we had a lot of problems with maybe our refineries. We have very limited refineries in Nigeria.
Right.
Even the ones that they sell cakes working at the point it stops working, And how can this, if we don't have enough refineries in Nigeria, we can't be able to, get more products and, it won't increase the whole national revenue of the, how do I say, it doesn't make more profit for the country. So I guess we just need to get more refineries in the country and also maybe our transporting system too. You know, most times we take our um, the crude oil found in the countries to other countries maybe to get it refined. So like I just the same point, so just we should have more refineries in the country, and also we should put in place good transporting systems too, because there could be political hindrance to most of them, where governments could feel like, okay, this um, land cannot be used for um, this installation of pipelines and all of that. So I just feel the basic thing we just need to do is work on our refinery. So that will cost us lesser amounts of money. You understand? Instead of wasting money taking it abroad, and So I just feel that should be one of the things we should try to improve on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. Also, when you were explaining to us, you said something about keeping the gas in you said something about storage of gas in an underground way. So I want to ask, why do we need to store gas? Can't we just store it normally how we store um
Well,
petroleum?
yeah, gas has a very, very high pressure. It's working at a very high pressure. So it is more safer to put it underground because it tends to hold the gas longer for a very, very long time. Pending the time it will be, distributed, or pending the time it will be taken out for delivery and all of that. So the main thing is pressure. Gas has a very high pressure, and also it holds the gas for a longer time than when
Okay.
it is really above ground. Do you understand? So that's just the basics
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. We are very, very grateful for having you on the show
Thank you.
today.
My
It's a
pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. And back to everybody. Thank you all for paying attention and for listening. I hope you guys got something, and I hope you enjoyed the show. So moving on, we'll be going to our challenge. I'm sure we have all seen the video challenge, and we need you guys' help. We need you to follow us on all our social media links on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. You should like, you should comment, and also you should follow. Please, you should also do all those things because um, we need your help. And with you guys, we can be the winner. Yes, with you guys. So we need you to just help us follow and yeah, like, and also there's a giveaway. I'm sure we have all seen that also. So you should also engage in it and also win something for yourself. Yeah, thank you. I hope you all enjoyed the program for today. And again, we'll be looking at downstream next week. So you should also be here next week. Next week by 12 p.m. You should be here. Pay attention. Bring your books. Bring your Bible. Be attentive, and also, yeah, be attentive because from here, like now, me personally, I got to learn about some parts of the things in oil and gas industry, and from that, moving on and other things. From next week on, so you also learn from that one, and you have more knowledge in it. So thank you all, and also please don't forget to follow us on our Instagram and all our social media pages. Thank you so much. Yeah. So have a nice day and take care of yourselves. Bye. Okay, yes, yes. Before I go, please subscribe to our YouTube. Please, you guys should really, really subscribe to our YouTube. We need you guys' help. Like everything is on you guys, is on us. It is SPOAU. We should work for SPOAU. We should volunteer. So you guys, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please, in case you have not followed again, I'm still saying it. Please go and follow our our pages on our social media. Everything, please. We need to win this. Yes, we can do it. Thank you all. So take care and have a nice day. Bye.